Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be telling you my NBA playoff predictions. I'm going to start off in the Western Conference. The first game I have is the first seeded OKC Thunder versus the 8th seeded Jazz. I think the OKC Thunder will be able to win this game because I just think they're more well-rounded. I just think that they're the better team. I think the Jazz won't be able to keep up with the OKC Thunder, and I just think the Jazz will make more mistakes. I just think the Utah Jazz will not be able to beat the OKC Thunder. The next game I have is the 4th-seeded Nuggets versus the 5th-seeded Spurs. I think the Nuggets will be able to win against the Spurs because I just think that they have really good players that have been in that position before, like Jokic, and I just think that the Spurs don't have enough experience. But I think they have good players. But I think the Nuggets will just be able to outscore them, out defense them, and I just don't think the Spurs will be able to beat the Nuggets in the first round. The next game I have is the 3rd-seeded Grizzlies versus the 6th-seeded Lakers. And I just think that the Grizzlies will be able to win because I just don't think, even with like Luka Doncic, I just don't think the Lakers will be able to win. I just think they'll make more mistakes than the Grizzlies, but I think it'll be a really close game or series. I just think that it'll come down to errors, and I just think that the Lakers will make more errors than the Grizzlies, and I just think the Grizzlies will walk away with the win. The last game in the first round for the Western is the 2nd-seeded Warriors versus the 7th-seeded Trailblazers. I think the Warriors will be able to win because I just think that they have the better players. I think they have overall better players. I think they have good older players and younger players. I just think that the Warriors are going to be better at scoring and defense, and I think they play as a team. I think that helps them win so many games, and I just think that the Warriors will be able to win against the Trailblazers. So the second round for the Western Conference, the first game I have is OKC Thunder versus the Denver Nuggets. I think this will be a really good match. Both teams fighting for a chance to make it to the game to decide the NBA Final Western Conference winner. And I just think the OKC Thunder will win because I just think the Thunder are more experienced lately. I just think that they've been playing better than the Nuggets, and I just think that the Nuggets won't be able to keep up with them. And I just think the Nuggets will make more errors, and I just think they won't put up much of a fight against this Thunder team. And so I think the OKC Thunder will be able to win. In the next and last game for the second round for the Western Conference, I have the Grizzlies versus the Warriors. I think this is going to be a pretty close game too. I think both teams are trying to beat each other. I just think that the Warriors will be able to win because I just think that the Warriors are the better team, and I just don't think the Grizzlies have what it takes to go further in the playoffs. And I just think the Warriors will be able to play. I think they have more experience playing in pressure, and I just think the Warriors will be able to outpace them and win this matchup. And then the game to decide who goes, or the game to decide the winner to go to the NBA Finals, I have the OKC Thunder versus the Golden State Warriors. I have the Golden State Warriors beating the OKC Thunder as an upset because I just think the OKC Thunder won't have a good of a matchup as the Warriors I think will have. And I just think the Warriors will outscore them, maneuver them. I think they'll score better than the Thunder. I think they'll play more better defense than the Thunder. I think the Thunder will make more errors than the Warriors, and I just think the Warriors will be able to win and move to the NBA Finals. So now I'm going to move on to the Eastern Conference. So in the first round, I have the first seeded Bucks versus the 8 seeded Pistons. I think the Bucks will be able to win, but because of uh, all they have, like the Bucks or Giannis, I mean. But I think the Pistons will put up a good fight, even though they haven't been good like for the past several years. I think they'll be able to make it barely, but I think they'll lose in the first round because I just don't think they have what it takes to beat the Bucks in the first round, and I just think that the Bucks will uh, be better. I think they'll outmaneuver. I think they will make less errors than the Pistons, and I just think the Bucks will walk away with this win against this team. The next game I have is the fourth seeded Heat versus the fifth seeded um, 76ers. I think this will be the closest matchup of the playoff because both teams are really good. Both teams have really good players. I think both teams will put up a really good fight, and I just think that the Heat will end up making less errors than the 76ers, and I think they'll move on because I just think that they will play better. I just don't think the 76ers will be able to keep up with the Heat, and I just think that the Heat will escape with the win barely. And the next game I have is the third seeded Cavs versus the sixth seeded Hornets. So I have the Hornets making the playoffs because I think they've been playing really good, and plus the Cavs have always been good. And I just think the Cavs will be able to win because I just don't think the Hornets have what it takes. I just don't think they're good enough to go past the first round, and I just think that the Hornets will not be able to keep up. I don't think they have enough experience in the playoffs, and I don't think they will be able to handle it well. And I just think that the Hornets will end up losing to the Cavs in the first round. And the last game in the first round is that I have the second seeded Bulls versus the seventh seed Celtics. I have the Bulls winning because I just don't think the Celtics are as good as they are usually. I just don't think the Celtics will be able to do as they've been doing the past several years. I think the Bulls have been getting considerably better as time goes on. I think they'll be able to win because I think they have good players that can shoot and guard. I think they have a good coach that can coach them, and I think they play as a team. So I just think that they'll be overall better. I just think that the Bulls will end up winning this matchup. The second round, the first game of the second round, I have the Bucks versus the Heat. I think the Bucks will be able to win against the Heat because I just think the Bucks are more experienced. I just think that having a slump a few years ago after winning the NBA Finals, I just think they've been on an upward trend. I just don't think it'll stop, and I just think they'll will beat the Heat, and I just don't think the Heat will keep up with like Giannis and his team. I just think the Bucks will play as a team, and I just think that'll help them, and I think they'll win. In this last game, the second round, I have the Cavs versus the Bulls. I think the Bulls will be able to win because I just don't think the Cavs are good enough to move on. I just think the Bulls will play hard. I think they'll be playing really hard, fighting hard. But I think the Cavs will put up a pretty good effort against the Bulls. And I just think in the end, I think it'll come down to more errors. I think the Cavaliers will make more errors than the Bulls, and I just have the Bulls going on to the next round. And then the game to decide which team goes to the NBA Finals, I have the Bucks versus the Bulls. I think this will be a really good matchup. Both teams trying to get to the NBA Finals. I think it'll go back and forth for a while. I think this will be a pretty close game. But I think in the end, I think the Bulls will win, and I just think that both teams will fight. I think it'll come down to errors, and I just think the Bucks will make more errors than the Bulls, and I just think the Bulls will play as a team, be more aggressive, shoot better, play defense better, and I just think that the Bulls will go to the NBA Finals. So in the NBA Finals, I have the Warriors versus the Bulls. I think this will be a really good NBA Finals if I get it right. I just think that both teams will play as hard as they can. The Bulls, I just think will play good, shoot good, but I just don't think they'll be able to keep up with the Warriors. I have the Warriors winning the NBA Finals for this upcoming or this current NBA season. I just think that the Warriors will outplay them. I think they'll score, shoot, or score and play better defense than the Bulls. But I think it'll go back and forth, and I just think that this will be a really fun NBA Finals to watch. And I just think that the Warriors will end up winning this NBA Final this upcoming season. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to never miss a video. And I hope you guys have a great